ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome everyone. Today is probably the last class of Bhagavad Gita. So we've been doing it for 2 years. Hopefully we'll be able to finish it today. We got 6 verses to do. So we are in the last section of Bhagavad Gita. Last chapter, last section, Arjuna agrees to fight and victory is assured by Sanjaya. So we've already done one of the very, very important verses of Bhagavad Gita last week. So let's do a quick revision and then let's start the last 6 verses. So 1865, anyone to do this one? Charu Mataji, Hare Krishna. You want to do? No. Okay, who wants to do? So we did a bit of elaboration last week. Ujjwala Mataji or Prabhuji, I can see you both.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this verse 65 translation is: always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So first of all, we can see from this verse that Krishna is coming down to the human level and telling us the real truth, what to do in devotion. So this whole thing, we can divide it into 4 levels. Krishna has given in 4 levels. The highest level being, give me your give me your mind. Krishna is saying, think of me. So which is the highest state of devotion. And then the second one, if you can't do that, if you can't give your mind, if you can't think of me constantly, then the second is worship me. So the worship can be done, as you told us, like discussed last time, in 9 forms. So 9 different forms can be done. So that is the second level. And then the third level is offer your homage unto me. So that is, third is give your worship. So we can light the lamp, etc., like we do it in Damodar month. So that's the third level of bhakti. And the fourth level is, if you can't do all these three, then offer your namaskar to me. So, but the main thing that you explained to us, that we should do all this without ego. That's the main thing we have to do. Then this pranam becomes very powerful. Because if we do this with ego, that I am this, I am that, and I'm doing this, in that case, that is not the right thing to do. So we should do it without ego.
Yep.
And then Krishna promises that if you do all of this, or if you start with any of this, then Krishna is promising that you will come to me without fail. So he's giving us this promise because he loves his devotee. So anyone who approaches him, he is assuring that you will come to me. There is no doubt about this. And Krishna, in the end, he says this, that I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So that shows the intimacy of the relationship between a devotee and Krishna. So which is very sweet. So Krishna is assuring to Arjuna because Arjuna is his very dear friend. So yeah, I can gather all this from this verse.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else wants to add something on top of what Mataji has explained, which is quite a lot? Few more points we can discuss on this one. Yes, sir, Sanjay.
Yes, Prabhu. One point I want to add, like you also mentioned about the different. This same verse came in the 9th chapter, also 934. We
Yeah.
talked about. So the difference between that verse and this verse is that in 934 it talked about the onus is actually on the devotee. So he says, with the Atmanam, you try to surrender to me, elder. Whereas in this particular case, in 1865, Krishna is promising that he will take back. So it is developing the relationship between the devotee and Krishna. So
Yep.
taking back to him. So this point
Yep.
I thought.
That's very good. What else? It's a very deep verse. So we're talking about these 4 different levels, as Mataji said. Manmana is the highest level. Why Manmana is the highest level? Why not Bhavamad Bhakta is the highest level?
Because
Or
it's very
just,
difficult to give the mind actually.
yeah. Usually we give mind to whom?
To
Whom we
all
love
the
the most.
yeah
Whether
to
it's
the
our
much
money, family member, whatever else, our mind is completely, or sometimes we give our mind to our enemies as well. We think about our enemies more than whom we love. So we give our mind to all these people who are very important, crucial in our life, but we hardly give our mind to Krishna. Krishna is there, but in a corner of the mind. Chaitanya Prabhu said once in a class, if you can't give mind to Krishna, give what is in your mind to Krishna. Generally speaking, money. At least give some money to Krishna, if you have, or whatever else you have. Give something. You start, as Mataji was saying, start from Namaskuru just by doing pranam. Some people just go to temple, they light a diya, or just pray for their welfare, well-being, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. They are starting the bhakti with Namaskar. And then slowly, someone will give them a DT. They will offer some lamp in the house. They will offer some ilaichi dana, sugar candy to Krishna. And then they will start, okay, maybe I can do some Shravanam of Krishna, Shravanam Kirtanam. And finally, Manmana will happen. Krishna will take over your whole existence. So these are a step-by-step process. And you can start from wherever, and slowly, if you are sincere, if you are in the association of devotees, you'll surely reach to the last and the highest stage, which is Manmana. Satyam te. Mataji said something, but we can elaborate on this point. What does Satyam te refer to here? Why Krishna has to say Satyam te?
he's declaring in a very emphatic manner that many a times, like in the we have also heard that he asked Arjuna to declare,
Yeah.
you give the promise.
Konte pratijani name bhakta pranashyati. That's the 9th chapter. Konte, you declare. And here pratijane, he is declaring himself. What does this word signifies? Pratijane, in 9th chapter or in 18th chapter? What does this word signifies? We know the meaning of the declaration, but what does it signifies? What's the significance of this verse in 9th chapter and in 18th chapter? Someone else can participate? Shraddha Mataji, if you remember.
Prabhu, I remember you were saying that Krishna was saying this to Arjuna as a obviously Krishna is the absolute truth, but he was saying this as a friend, and then because in the past he used to do all these mischievous acts,
Yes.
he used to steal butter and all those things.
Yes.
So that's why he said, "No, this is actually the truth. I'm not working or I'm not doing any mischievous act."
Yes. No, you're right. That's what it is. And saying, as also Ujjwala Mataji said, he's coming on the human level. Sometimes, we say many things and say, Sachi bol raha hu, literally saying the truth. We have to sort of add that, because usually we don't have, truthfulness in our words. So we add that just to emphasize that. So that's Satyamte, very nice. Pratijane, what's the significance of Pratijane?
Not sure.
At both places. Anyone else? when we are doing a public declaration of something, suppose, our dog is lost or something, huh? We can say to our neighbor, okay, I'll give you, $500 if you find my dog. But if we declare it boldly in front of 64 crore people, do you think it's a casual statement? Can I go back on my words? No, it's a matter of my honor, Izzat chali jayegi. So it's a matter of honor. Krishna is declaring in front of whole public. Prati jane. Arjun, you have declared, now I am declaring. He's adding satyam, he's adding pratijane, and then last he is adding priyosi me. You are very dear to me. What does it signify? It's all that. He's very serious about it. He's just not making a casual statement. Okay, dekhenge, I'll see if I can take you back to Godhead. No. He is very serious about it. He's publicly declaring boldly, saying, I'm saying the truth. So have no doubt in this statement at all. And the last word is very important, Priyosime, because you are very dear to me. I'm not like declaring in front of my enemy country and then, just for the sake of matter of honor, I will accept my enemy country in my country for whatever reason. But no, you are very priya to me. You are very, very dear to me. So please have faith in my words and work on these aspects. And definitely the result will be Mam Evashasi. You will definitely come back to me. So that's the significance. Okay, what's the context of this verse? How does this verse come into this context? What's the relation between 64 and the previous section of Bhagavad Gita? And how does Krishna take entry into this particular verse? Because that's very, very important for all of us.
Because it's the most confidential, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. So we can go back. Yes, you're right. So let's look at 64. So as Mataji correctly, Sarva Guhyatamam Bhuyaha. Sarva Guhyatamam. So Guhyatamam refers to Guhya, Guhyatara, Guhyatama. So there are 3 degrees. So this is most confidential amongst all the knowledge. Whatever I have given. Sarva means everything. Guhyatamam is a topmost secret. And then Bhuya refers to?
Confidential.
Again.
Bhuya means again and again. So I've given you confidential knowledge in 9th chapter and at few other places of Bhagavad Gita. I'm giving you that again. But Shunu me Paramam Vacha. But what I'm going to speak now, this is Paramam Vacha, supreme instruction and most confidential. So Krishna is using these two. This is the only place in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna emphasizes with 2 superlative degrees. Paramam Vacha and Sarva Guhyatamam. So what is going to come now, 65 and 66, are the most important key message of Bhagavad Gita. And you can say in one sense, 65 and 66 is the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Now, the last 2 words last 2 lines are also very important. Ishtosi me dradham iti. Ishto means Ishta, again, dear, Priya. You are my very dear devotee to me, and I am determined to love you. And I'm telling you for your hita. I'm not telling you out of my ego. I'm telling you for your own hita. So please hear. So this is sort of a context. Now, how we are entering into it. So we discussed about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, where he says Bhagavad Gita is like a jewel box. So there is an upper layer, there's a lid, and there's a bottom. So lid is what? Karma Yoga. The bottom is like Jnana Yoga, and the middle section is the Bhakti Yoga, where all the jewels are put there. But 2 jewels out of those jewel box, from inside, they have been put outside the box, so that people can get attracted towards this jewel box. And these are the 2 jewels. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary. So 65 and 66 are the 2 jewels which will attract anyone and everyone towards Bhagavad Gita, because this gives the most essential message of Krishna. Manmana bhav bhakto. And we discussed about the 4 levels. That's fine. Now, 66. What's the relation between 65 and 66? Someone else can say. Jambati Mata.
Well, can I pass that?
That's okay. Who else wants to say? Madhvi Mataji, would you like to say something? What's the relation between 65 and 66?
Can I just go back to 65 once, Prabhu?
Sure, Mataji.
it is
Okay, no problem.
yeah,
No problem.
completely surrender is like any religion that is Sarva Dharma Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Dvaja. So whether it is a bodily dharma or any dharma, just I remember. Okay, Prabhu, I'm passing it.
That's all right. That's all right. We are just discussing. It's not right or wrong. We're all learning. So
Yeah.
there's nothing like that.
Can I
Yes.
try, Prabhu?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, someone. Yeah, Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhu, you go ahead.
Okay, Rasanandar, you started. Ali, you start. Otherwise,
No,
आपकी गाड़ी
this
चली
connection
जाएगी.
is the first point what Krishna is saying in the previous verse is if you think of me. So probably it's related to that, Prabhu. What will happen if you start thinking of me? Then you will end up surrendering to me.
Your thinking will only come by surrender, actually. In love, you only think about the next person when you love him. So if you have given your mind to him, it's already understood. Like a mother is loving to a little child so much, she's completely surrendered whatever child demands in the middle of the night or, during the day, anytime. Something else.
Prabhu, I'm just guessing. I'm not sure
Yes.
whether or not. If we have any sinful reactions with us, we can't completely surrender. But once we surrender, Krishna will remove the sinful reactions, so it's easy to,
Okay.
go back to him.
You're coming close. Yes, you're coming close. More.
Prabhu, my understanding on
Yes.
this is that Krishna here in verse 65, he shows that he's a very possessive God. And but he's not any God. So in 66, he's establishing his supremacy.
Okay.
So just to show that Supreme Lord, and he planned all this.
There is more to it. What you're saying is correct, Mataji. That's the 66th verse. I'm worried about the connection here. What you said is correct, but that is inside 66. Satyava Mata.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, in 65, Krishna is promising as a friend that he's promising him and giving the assurity that if you, surrender unto me, you will come to me, as a promise he's giving. But in 66, he's telling that you don't have to worry. So if 65 is kind of assuring that have trust in me, and in 66 he's saying that I will take, if the devotee is worried about his sinful reactions and having doubt in themselves, so Krishna is removing those doubts also in the verse 66 by saying that do not fear, I'll take care of all your sinful reactions. That's but
Yes.
in both the verses Krishna is talking about surrendering, and in both the verses the devotee needs to surrender to Krishna. That's
Thank
my
you, Mata. Thank you, Mata. Very nice. 65, he is giving
I
assurance.
would like to say one thing, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes,
Mata. Yes,
yeah,
quickly.
just the connection here is like in 65 Krishna is saying what are the actions that you need to do from physically, whereas in 66 it is from your mood or mentality, like you need to surrender everything. It's a bhava, and here is like your physical actions.
Okay, let's conclude now. So in 65, all of you made very, very nice points. We'll just try to integrate them together. So as I said, they are the two jewels. Again, as per Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they are two jewels. They go together actually. So the first verse, 65, for example, gives the assurance, Mam evashyasi, giving assurance to Arjuna, you will definitely come back to me. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Arjuna starts thinking, okay, but what I have to do, what I have to do, what I have to do. Krishna has given me so many instructions, right? What exactly I need to do right now? So Krishna gives the final instruction. Arjuna, sarva dharmanu parityaja. Just forget everything. Just remember one thing. What you have to do is mam ekam sharanam vraja. And Arjuna, if you have any hesitation in coming to me, like Arjun had the hesitation of killing his family members, his grandfather, and what will happen to Kula Dharma and Sri Dharma and all that. He's saying, if you have any hesitation in following this Mamekam Sharanam Raja, you know what? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of all your sinful reactions. Even if sinful reactions are involved in the process of surrendering to Krishna, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Okay, so that's a primary connection between these two verses. Now let's jump into this verse and see what this verse is saying. Who wants to go? Who hasn't gone as yet? The one who are not on video, I strongly encourage to please come on the video. From next module onwards, we are going to strictly follow this, and I'll tell you the reason a little later. But it's very nice because we are already in the home environment, and it's very easy to get distracted unless you have to go, to attend some urgent activity. Please switch on your cameras and be interactive. Unless you are driving, I didn't mean that. So I don't want you to be unsafe, but if you could please talk, interact. Believe me or not, the exam preparation you do that may not retain in your mind, but the discussions we do in the class will retain in your mind, and we get so much out of it just by discussing with each other. If others also can try to come, unless again they are driving, I'm not saying you to be unsafe in any situation. Okay, so what this verse say? Who hasn't gone as yet? Akhandasa Prabhu, we'd like to hear from you. Just one line or two lines, a big verse. So let's do it together. So what's the context for this verse? This line, sorry. Sarva dharmanu parityaja.
I think again, I think from what I see is the process was given in 65. And if you surrender fully to me, this is what the result you will get, that I will take care of all your sins. And
Prabhuji, we can just take the first line now. We've done the context for the whole verse. I'm just taking one line at a time. Sarva dharmanu parityaja. What does it mean? Where does it relate within Bhagavad Gita elsewhere?
What Krishna is saying, that give up all different type of religions that
Yes.
you may be inclined to, and just surrender to me. That's what he's recommending.
Okay.
So don't do anything else.
Okay. Sarva dharmanu parityaja. Where else it relates with? So that's the meaning. That's perfectly right. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
4.8.
Yes, Mataji. What's the verse?
I don't know, Prabhu, sorry.
Then that's fine, Mother. What you said is correct. What you said is correct.
But I don't know the verse.
Paritranaya sadhunam vinasha chiduskritam dharma sansthapanarthaya. So Krishna said in a very, very famous verse, why do I come? Dharma sansthapanarthaya. What is the artha, hetu, business of me coming? Dharma ki sthapana. I want to establish dharma. Krishna says in 4.8. Now 18.66. Did he change his mind? Oh, sorry, that was a slip of a tongue. I didn't mean that, Actually, you know what? Just overwrite it. Just replace 4.8 with 1866. Is that what Krishna is saying? We have to be very clear, right? Because someone can argue with you. Your Krishna is saying two statements. They're both contradictory, so-called contradictory. What does it mean?
Prabhu, in this one.
Can I? Sorry, go ahead.
Mataji, you can say that, sir.
I was just going to say that Krishna actually says Sarva dharman parityaja. So give up. So it's actually quite a huge statement, but he's already said that I come to establish dharma. So he's essentially here saying give up dharma. But the dharma he's talking about is every other dharma that takes you away from Krishna. So when our mind is distracted, I don't remember that verse from chapter 2, which said, Bahushakai anantasya, when your mind is distracted, when you have too many, when you're
241. Yeah.
241. So when your buddhi intelligence is bahushakha, then you cannot be focused on any one thing. Therefore, he's saying just do those activities that take you surrender just to me and nobody else, and that is the dharma he wants to follow. And I think it also there's also a verse in I don't know which says anukula say sankalp. So whatever
yes,
whatever
it says here, Mataji, what you are saying.
Yeah, so the one that is, yes, Hari Bhakti Vilas. So he said this one just says whatever, just perform those activities that are anukul for you, that propagate your progress in Krishna consciousness, and do not do those activities that take you away from Krishna consciousness. And that is the kind of dharma Krishna is talking about.
Thank you, Mata. Very nice. Satyavam Mataji, if you want to add some more points to it.
Yes, one of the point is yes, as Mataji said, that we don't have to worry about any other dharma. Krishna, like not other religious activities or not worshipping of demigods. Dharma could be that as Arjuna was worried about his karma, that he'll get a sin if he kill his own relatives. So that dharma also he's saying that don't worry about anything else. Just don't just हिंदी में बोले तो जब त्याग दो आप अपने बाकी के सारे धर्मों को, और जो कृष्ण का धर्म, असली धर्म हमारा कृष्ण को पूजना ही है और उन्हीं का करना है, उन्हीं की पूजा और डिवोशनल सर्विस करना होता है, तो वही सही मायने में धर्म है और वही कृष्णा लेके आए हैं हम.
Thank you, Mata. Who can give 3 names to all these wordings which you are listening with? They're all correct. Who can give 3 names to it? We gave 3 names.
There is one adharma,
Adharma. Yeah.
paradharma, and aparadharma.
So hang on. In order?
Adharma, aparadharma, paradharma.
Thank you. Raghu Mataji, what does adharma mean?
Adharma means which is not according to dharma.
Religious principles.
Yeah.
Dharma, right? Religious principles, right. What is aparadharma?
It's bodily dharma or individual dharma.
What does bodily dharma mean? You
Like
are
your duty according to the scriptures.
You're a grahastha, you're a vanaprastha, sannyasi, you're a male, female, you may be mother, father, sister, whatever, you may be employee of some company. They all relate to your bodily identification. So you have a dharma, we're not denying it. Huh? You have a duty for your family, you have duty for your parents, kids, and your society. That's all right. But that's all apara dharma. There's still a higher dharma than that, which is called paro dharma. So as Charu Mataji as well as Satyama Mataji was explaining, yes, we have to surrender everything to Krishna, no demigod worship and all that. That is called paro dharma. So where Arjun was trying to go from apara dharma to adharma, leaving his duties, go to jungle, become a mendicant, right? Not following his duty, even as apara dharma. But what Krishna is trying to lift Arjuna from, not slipping from apara dharma to adharma, rather from apara dharma going to paro dharma. And that is the elevation which Bhagavad Gita is trying to do in all of us, because many times we also slip down, isn't it? From apara dharma, we slip down. And I was reading assignments, the definition of renunciation in mode of passion. And many people did the mistake, and that's fine. It was the 8th verse, not the 6th verse. Anyway, so in a nutshell, what's the real definition? If out of bodily discomfort you quit your prescribed duties, that's renunciation in mode of passion. And Bhagavad Gita does not recommend that. Huh? You think, oh, it's too uncomfortable for me to look after my family, so let me quit. Huh? That's not what Bhagavad Gita recommends. So we're talking about sarva dharmanu parityaja refers to you quit your apara dharma and come to what? Not adharma, rather go to paro dharma. So that's the first line. Second line, mam ekam. So sharanam word, Charu Mataji already explained, which was in the second line. Let's look at mam ekam sharanam raja. Who will explain that? Who hasn't done it? Jai Dharma Prabhu, Hare Krishna, if you can. Each word is very, very deep. Okay, Jai Dharma Prabhu may be not available. Tane Mataji, you remember something about the second line? I'm just doing the second line, so don't go to third or fourth or first line now. Just the second line, so that we can understand it well.
Prabhuji, I'll just check my notes.
Okay. Anyone else in that meanwhile? Vinay Prabhuji?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah,
I have some notes. Like Mam Ekam, Mam meaning is Krishna, and Ekam only one. And you mentioned is our Shraddha, and Sharanam is surrender, is like a sadhan, is a highest thing. If you can do the only surrender to me, then Brojo means come to Vrindavan, go back to Krishna Loka. Okay. That's the point is we have. So sadhana and sadhu is very important, you say, and we can find in there this line, and that's I have.
So through this line, Krishna is establishing two things: the highest sadhya and the highest sadhan. So ekam can go to mam and ekam can go to sharanam. So ekam, when he goes to mam, is saying ekam mam. So Krishna is saying only me. Is Krishna being very arrogant here, saying only me, love only me, surrender unto me? Is that right? Krishna is being very arrogant, right? If I say, I am the only one, I'm the man of the match or whatever. Is it a very like a proud statement by Krishna?
No, Prabhu. Actually,
Why?
If it is by anybody else, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you are the boss of some company, you can boldly declare, I am the CEO of this company. There's nothing wrong or no arrogance in that. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme.
It's
And
a
he's
fact.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
fact.
fact. That's it. How it's a fact in Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. You can be all unmuted. It's fine. So that we can speak quickly. How Krishna is telling a fact. Can you give me 2 verses from Bhagavad Gita very quickly? Where it's
Aham sarvasya.
10.8. I need the number and the verse. Sorry.
10.8 Aham sarvasya Prabhu.
Second.
Matta paratam nanyat.
Number
param dhama.
7.7. Jai Dharma Prabhu, 10.12. Huh? These are the facts. So Krishna is just saying fact again. He's already said it, right? He's saying again. Aham Sarvasya, when he said 10.8, Matta Parataram 7.7, he's already saying there's no one beyond me. Huh? So it's nothing like being arrogant. Arrogance means I don't possess something and I want to possess it. Krishna already possesses it. Huh? So it's just a fact of life. And he's saying, come to me. And also another statement is, because he is the highest, he can do the highest welfare. Others can do little bit welfare for your body or for your emotions and blah, blah, blah. We can give you some solace. We can give you some food and medicine and all that. Because Krishna is the highest, he does the highest welfare. And Krishna loves us. Okay. Ekam Sharanam, as Vinay Prabhuji was saying, this is establishing. What is establishing? The sadhan. There can be many sadhans to go to Krishna, but the sadhan of Sharanam, taking complete shelter from your heart to Krishna, is the highest and the quickest sadhan to go to Braja. And again, Braja has multiple meanings. You come to my Sharan or come to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, you can take the complete shelter. Now, Vrindavan also has multiple meanings. Will not go there. Okay. Now, aham tvam sarvapapebhyo, we already said that, mokshami masuchaha. So Krishna is basically through 65 and 66 assuring the devotee here, Arjuna, that you will definitely come back to me. Do not have any fear. And no matter which level you are, you can start from there. Bhakti can be started from anywhere. It doesn't have to be you become Brahman, you become a male, you become a scholar, you pass your Bhakti Shastri. Nothing like that. Anyone and everyone is allowed to do Bhakti. And we'll read in Nectar of Devotion how beautifully in the 5th chapter of Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami is explaining Bhakti has no bars at all for any caste, creed, you are an animal, you are a devata or you are a rakshasa, it doesn't matter. Anyone can do Bhakti. And if you think there is some path in that mark, in that path, while you're coming to Krishna, while you're performing the Sharanam path, some path is involved. As in this case, Arjuna is thinking path is involved. Krishna is saying, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So Krishna is such a loving God. From his heart, he is saying, please come back to me. Please come back to me. Okay, there's a lot more to say. And also very important, as Charu Mataji was saying, the 6 parts of Sharanagati. So I'll just quickly say, Anukula se, anything favorable to your bhakti can be taken if you are doing bhakti. As we gave example of Srila Prabhupada telling his disciple, if you have to eat meat and preach, go and do that. It didn't mean Prabhupada encouraging that, but saying, if you have to do that, preaching is service to the Lord. Sankalpa means we do that. And Varjanam means we give that away, no matter how dear that is. Many people before coming to Krishna consciousness, they loved meat or some certain types of eatables, some drinks. But once they came to Krishna consciousness, it was difficult. The transition was difficult, but they gave it up. They gave it up. And these 2 are, anyone can say these 2 plus 4. What is the 2 and what is the 4? Shraddha Mataji is about to say something.
Pravarti and Nivarti, Prabhu.
Pravarti and Nivarti. Okay, what does it mean, Prabhuji?
Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. That's the first. Okay, first is do, second is don't. That's fine. What does these 2 represent?
First 2 are actions, the next are emotions.
Yeah, on the
Thank
mind.
you.
The
Thank you,
external
Mataji.
and the internal.
Yeah, so external and the internal. So the action, something we do by our action, something we feel in our heart. So what's the feeling in the heart? Rakshisyati iti vishwa. So devotee have full faith in every single condition. Krishna is there to protect me. Goptratve varnam tatha, and Krishna is my ultimate maintainer. So other people in the world can maintain me. They are the medium. That's why my father, my brother, my family is maintaining me. That's very nice. But ultimate maintainer is Krishna. Atmnikshep Karpane. And with utter humility, we do complete surrender to Krishna. Sadvida Sharanagati. There's a whole seminar topic we tried to cover in 1 second. Okay, yes, Prabhuji, you have a question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask, like we hear so many instructions in Bhagavad Gita, and during the various talks, we hear like in here, there are so many instructions about the action aspect and the emotion aspect. So we know all that. So in theory, it is there, and you start slowly but surely applying it. But still, we come with our own conditioning. So sometimes there is a big gap or a small gap as per the conditioning of that person. So even though we know it, how does one bridge that gap quickly so that whatever we hear in theory that one should do this, not do this, etc., but there is a gap, so one is not able to completely soak it in and apply it completely. So how does one bridge the gap?
Yes, Mata. So you're basically saying, how do you become from an immature devotee to a mature devotee? You read Nectar of Devotion. That's what it's about. From green mango, Rupa Goswami says, from green mango to a ripe mango. Just to give you answer in a nutshell, why the gap is there? Because of our contaminations. We all agree with that. We all have contaminations, and because of that, we can't progress. Some people have less, some people have more. So the more the contaminations, the more the gap. Is it right? We all agree with that. Huh? So, it's a simple example coming back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Antalila, where Shikshastakam says, Cheto Darpan Marjanam. Huh? So, in the Chitta, the Darpan of our Chitta, so our Chitta, our consciousness is like a Darpan where we can see ourselves. Ourselves means our real Swarupa, we can see. But right now, we are not able to see. Why? Because the dust layer is so thick, so thick. But as you progress in devotion life, what happens? Little bit scrubbing is happening, little bit. And every day when you chant 16 rounds, you offer bhoga to your deities, you perform arti, some Vaishnav seva, some reading of books, you do that. Every day you are scrubbing that. And eventually what happens, even within this lifetime, we can all experience, we've been here for last 10, 20 years or something, right? When we started Krishna consciousness, say 15 years ago or something, did we have exactly same feelings as we have today? No, there's some changes. There may be very subtle changes. There may not be so many. In many areas, we may not see any change. In some areas, we can definitely see some change. So if the change has happened in 10 years, for example, so some more change will happen in another 10 years, 15 years. Huh? Now, it can happen in 1 minute as well. That's a different story. But the point which I'm trying to make, Krishna consciousness is a journey. It's not something will happen overnight. So we have to scrub very, very sincerely. And sincerity means, Radhanath Maharaj says, attention. So we have to be very attentive to the process of scrubbing. Many times, if not all the times, we are not attentively scrubbing. Huh? We are just casually scrubbing. So if your pot is burnt a lot, you're trying to make kheer and a pot is burnt, you have to scrub very hard. You'll say to Prabhu, kya? There's no muscles. Ragdo. You have to scrub hard. And Prabhu say, ja hi nahi raha. This blackishness is not going. You're not putting effort. But the more effort you put, the more you're able to see in your Chitta Darpan. So the process is working. We have all seen in our life and in others' life as well. Many young kids have come in front of us and you see, they are so advanced. They are literally so advanced. There's no age criteria there. So we have to see that in our life. So how do we bridge the gap? We just perform akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarti. Whether you have all the desire, you have no desire, you have moksha desire, no matter, Yajet Purusham Param, you have to worship Param Purushan. How? The process recommended by Sutta Goswami is Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. So that Tivrata in Bhakti is very important. Many times we're doing Bhakti, but not with Tivrata. So Birbal ki khichdi. So your fire is here and khichdi is on the top of your roof. So how the khichdi will happen? So you have to increase the fire of your devotion, and then no matter what gap you have in the heart, guaranteed. Bhagavatam is guaranteeing, not me. Bhagavatam is guaranteeing. Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. So Katha Ruchi will happen. It will happen. So just keep performing your bhakti with tivrata, and all the gaps will be fulfilled in this life or maybe in few more lifetimes, depending on our sincerity and the strength we are putting in the devotion. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
One more thing comes to my mind. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that, just on that 67, I'll go back. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that very nicely. Many times we are doing Ankulyasya Sankalpaha. We are adopting the principles of devotion which are anukul, which are favorable. That's very nice. But many times, we are not doing Pratikulasya Varjanam. If doctor says do not eat sweet because you have high diabetes, but you're taking the medication, which is nice, but you're still taking, one rasgulla every night. Just one. Sometimes mango during the day, sometimes ice cream in the afternoon. So will your diabetes go? Probably not. It will take much longer. So although we are taking medications, but many times we are also not adopting this principle fully. And that's why our disease is staying in our heart for longer amount of time. So we have to do both. And we'll read about this in NOI as well. So the second one is also as important as the first one. But if you talk about the preference, our Acharya says, first one has to be given the highest preference. Highest preference. You keep chanting even if you have bad habits. Prabhupada never said to people, you stop drinking, then come to my temple. You're drinking, that's not what is recommended, but that's all right. You chant Hare Krishna, take prasad. So don't need to get disheartened ever in bhakti because the first line is first because it is the first. Anukulyasya sankalpa. I have to chant, I have to serve. And if you do the second line also very nicely, the car will go up the speed. Nitai Sevni Mataji gives this example. You start a car and you put your feet on the accelerator. That's fine. But another feet is on the brake. Unless you take the feet off the brake, your car will not go forward, because although you're putting the accelerator, but brake is still on. So take the feet off. That means pratikula savar. Chhod do, let go. Many things we are not letting go. I'm still holding on to it, like Dhritarashtra. We laugh at Dhritarashtra, but actually it says we are all Dhritarashtra. We're all holding on to our attachment. This is my house, my family, my this, my that. How can I let it go? I'm a mother, I'm the father, I'm this and that. One Prabhupada disciple in UK, he said very nicely when he was in last stages of his life, he said, don't take this illusion too seriously. Don't take this illusion too seriously. We take this illusion too seriously. It's a matter of life and death. You will die anyway. Don't take this illusion too seriously. Do your duties at your best. Don't take it to your heart. It's all going to go. It's all going to go away sooner or later. Either they will leave you or you will leave them. It's all going to. So he said, don't take this illusion too seriously. It really lightens your heart. It's all right. Things are wrong. It's okay. What the worst thing which can happen in our life? Vismratyo najatu chit. We should never forget Vishnu. That's the worst thing. Everything else, what we call it worse, actually is not worse. It's not worse. Keshav Maharaj was giving a class and the title was Become Comfortable with the Uncomfortable. You can all listen. This class is a wonderful class. You'll get so much out of it. Become comfortable with uncomfortable. So we all become uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. As soon as a vipada comes, we try to run away, escape, get rid of it. You see, it's all right. It's all right. The real vipada is do not forget Vishnu. Do not forget Vishnu. If vipada brings you to Vishnu, thank you, vipada, vipada, shantata, shashwat, tatra, tatra, jagat guru. Anyway, lot to say. I think you get the message. How to bridge the gap? That's the best question. Okay.
Prabhu, there's also one more point
Hare
that
Krishna.
I had heard
Yes,
about
Mataji.
this,
Please.
because you were talking about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He also mentions that Ekam can refer to two things. It can be attached to Ma, Ekam Mam and Ekam Sharanam.
Yes.
So
we discussed that, Mata,
we
already.
discussed that. Oh,
Yes,
sorry. I
already.
was not listening.
No
Sorry.
problem. No problem. Yeah. Yes, it is from Chakravarti Thakur. Very nice. Okay, 67. The context of it. Prasannatma Prabhu. Hare Krishna. To see a prasanna face. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you give the context, please? 67th context, not the meaning.
So here Krishna says, whom this knowledge can be explained. That's the context. Whom
this knowledge cannot be explained.
Oh, cannot
the
be
first
explained.
is cannot. So first he is giving a negation here. He's saying,
Okay.
please don't do that. Like, your child is going, a small child is going to school. The first thing you will say to your child, hey, don't go out of the school boundary, school gate. Be inside the gate. Then you will say inside the gate, yeah, you can go to bathroom, you can go to fountain, you can go to playground. So first he's saying what not to do. But before even I say that, there's one more thing, even before that. Who will say that?
Prabhu, idam, this knowledge, so particular.
Yes, Mataji, I'll come to the verse in a second. I'll come to the verse. I'm not in the verse as yet. I'm in the context.
This is the Falashruti of the.
Thank you, Mata. So this section of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has stopped giving instruction to Arjuna. Now he's giving Falashruti, as in any Vedic literature. Putana pastime, you get a Falashruti. Bakasur pastime, you get a Falashruti. Why do they give Falashruti? What's the need? Because we are like kids. Unless some phala is there, we don't get motivated, we don't get encouraged. Kuch chocolate dena hai bachcho ko. So Krishna is saying, if you do this, what will happen? So we are like little kids, Not everyone. Many of you are very senior, sorry. But sometimes we are like kids. So Krishna has to say Falashruti. And many times you see many speakers do the Falashruti before reading the pastime. Why? Because then people hear the pastime very carefully. So Krishna is giving this Falashruti, which is very, very nice. And in the Falashruti, the first thing he does, what not to do with this knowledge. So Shraddha Mataji, you said idam. Can you please expand idam? Idam.
Yes, Prabhu. So Krishna explained that there are these kind of like kind of people, you should not tell them this knowledge. So particularly this knowledge. So with that, because after this, somebody will ask, so where should we depart this knowledge then? Because everybody is like this in this area.
Yes, that's correct.
So then he said, so this particular knowledge.
So what do you mean by this particular knowledge? Can you
Before,
quantify
like
it?
2 shlokas we
Thank
were
you.
explaining. So
Yeah, so 65 and 66. Like this is like the Sarva Guhya Tamam Jnana. So that knowledge, which is very, very confidential, should not be explained. This idam does not refer to the whole Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it will nullify the whole thing. Okay. Now coming back to Prasanatma Prabhu, now you can say, Prabhuji, whatever you wanted to say for this verse.
Atapakshaya means one who is not a stayer.
Not tapaskaya. Tapaskaya means tapasya karne wala.
Tapaskaya, yeah. And then abhakta, then who is not devoted, it should be. And the next one, ashrushave vachyam. Ashrushva is one who is not engaged in proper.
Shushrushva means to serve. Ashrushva, one who is not serving. One who is not engaged in service.
Yeah. And last one is one who is abhyashuyate, asuyate. Means one who is envious.
That's
it
right.
Shouldn't be.
So we have Anusuya word, Anusuya,
Yeah.
Atri Rishi's wife, Anusuya. Anusuya means one who has no envy at all. So these 4 categories, Krishna is saying, do not explain the confidential knowledge.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next one, who wants to do? Who hasn't done as yet? 68. Raghavi Mataji or Jamati Mataji, anyone? It's a straightforward verse. You're both thinking about each other.
Can I do?
Yes, Prabhu. Please. Okay, Jai Dharma Prabhu. Yes. Yes, start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, in this, Lord is explaining that whoever explains this supreme secret to others, whoever preaches, he will come back to him, and his devotional service is guaranteed. And also, you gave a nice example, like when a soldier is going on a war, so it's not only the person who is appearing in front of the enemies, but all the people who are helping him in order to do that battle, whether it is one who is preaching, or like all the devotees who are helping him in preaching at the same time, the people who are providing, like say for example prasad, or the people who are spreading this message in whatever means are, so they're also contributing to the Krishna consciousness. Similarly, whoever doing the preaching, means it's actually more of a not only just speaking, you said, like it's more of a achar and prachar. So it's so whoever does that, they their devotional service, Lord is giving an assurance that they'll definitely progress and finally they will come back to him.
Yep. Thank you, Prabhuji. And 69 verses is again a continuation of the 68, you can say. Someone wants to say any words on this one? Very beautiful verse.
Lord Krishna is just saying that there's no one more dear to me than the one who's preaching to devotees.
Yeah. Why he's saying that, Mataji? So that's a statement, fine, but why is he saying that? If I offer, say, bhoga to my Lord, that's also a nice activity. I make some dresses for my Lord and other things. But he's saying, the preacher, he is most dear to me. And he's saying, even for the future as well, nor will there ever be one more dear than him. Why is making this statement?
Because devotion,
Sorry,
sorry.
Madhuri.
Yes.
Devotion just it just deepens your devotion. So when you distribute something, it just deepens your devotion towards the Lord.
Okay. Yep, that's a good point. More.
I can only remember the example you gave on the battlefield.
Sorry, can we hear Tanya Mataji just for 1 second?
No,
Yes,
I could only remember the example you were giving of the soldier
and the army. Yep,
army. Yeah.
that's fine.
Preachers bring more soul, Prabhu.
Exactly. If one father's 4 children are lost and one children is helping 4 children to come back home, will this child not be very dear to the father? Because we are all lost children. And if we are trying to not only us going back to Godhead, but we are helping others as well to come back to Godhead, come back to the greatest Father, will our Father not be happy with us? It's just a general thing, right? So yes, we deepen our devotion, definitely that happens, but we are going back. My Guru Maharaj says very nicely, while you going back to Godhead, grab as many as possible. So obviously you should go on the path, grab as many as possible on the side. Huh? If you can grab, 5 more children of the same father and you arrive with 6, father will say, thank you, you got 5 more children. Huh? So we can try to become a media. Yes, Akhand Rasa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Just one question that when we preach the Bhagavad Gita message to people who are new, like in Bhakti Ruksha and all that, so does that also include this category which Krishna is saying not to preach? Because many times people are new and still we need to spread that message. So is it only 1865 and 66 only, or in general Bhagavad Gita message should not be?
No, so that's why I said either word has to be understood. The most confidential message should not be given to those who are not yet in a recipient stage. Time, place, circumstances, and that's why a preacher has to be very mature. When to deliver what, he will know. Like Prabhupada was in a house in India somewhere, and Prabhupada, had his prasadam in the house, and then he said, "How can I serve you? Can I tell something from Bhagavatam?" They said, "Yes." So what would you like to hear? And they said, "We want to hear Rasa Leela." Prabhupada said, no, maybe some other topic we can discuss. He said, no, Swamiji, we want to hear Rasa Leela. And they were keep insisting to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, maybe you're eligible to hear, I'm not eligible to speak. So what does this statement mean? Actually, they are not eligible to hear. Not Prabhupada is not eligible to speak. So a preacher has to decide, and that's why we have to become very mature. And many times in the past, on a practical terms, many preachers have made very insensitive, have made or said very insensitive things, and they literally wiped out so many potential devotees just because of their insensitive speech. Like you worshipping Durga ji and you are, this and your demigod worshipper, you don't have any intelligence. Look, you don't have to say all that. You don't have to, you respect. They are, even if they are demigod worshipper in 17.4, Krishna says, Yajante Sattvika Deva. They are in mode of goodness. Krishna is saying that. So who are we to sort of blame them? They may not be on the highest platform, but they are still doing something nice. So many times in Singapore, it has happened, because of these insensitive speeches. We are still banned in Singapore. Huh? We're still banned in Singapore. Russia, we were banned, not anymore. China, so many problems has happened. So many countries on a practical level, I'm saying, because of this insensitivity and immaturity of presentation of Krishna consciousness, not the understanding of it, it's the presentation of it. I heard in a lecture, I've not seen it or heard it, this preacher, very great preacher, Maharaj Sannyasi, he was telling He has heard someone saying, if you don't raise your hand in the kirtan, next life you'll have no hands. Next life you'll have no hands just because you're not raising hands in the kirtan. What sort of a statement, what sort of preaching is that? You can encourage and inspire people. You can't say like that. So yeah, we just have to understand what to give and where not to give. Like when we came to ISKCON, we were given this verse 1866, right? I think this was the first verse which I heard in ISKCON. So, but devotees told me. So we just have to understand it. We can still say, not go down too much deep. We can still tell about Ajamil, but Ajamil should not become the topic number one in the public. Otherwise, they'll say, oh, you're just exaggerating it. They will not understand it. Even we don't understand, to be very honest, even today, right? We have faith, but do we really understand that one name of Krishna will nullify all the sins? We'll get love of God. We will be crying. We've been chanting, millions of names in last many, many years. So we have faith. We are not saying Shastra is wrong. We have faith in Shastra, but we don't understand it. That's fine. Many things we don't understand. Okay, let's move forward.
Prabhu, when
Yeah.
verse 68, when just a small clarification, when it says the supreme secret, again it is talking about verse 65 and 66.
Not that. That's what I'm saying. We just have to understand the message of the verse and the adhikar of the recipient. So we're not just straightforward saying 65 and 66 and that's it. No, it's about the most confidential knowledge which need lot of shraddha before you can believe. So don't disclose those facts from day one. Krishna was dancing with 10 billion gopis. That's not the only message of Bhagavatam. Not that you're not supposed to discuss. You will discuss. Based on the adhikar of the person, you give him or her the knowledge. And then he receives very nicely. Your child is 5-year-old. You're not going to give calculus and algebra to your 5-year-old kid. When he becomes 15 or 18, then he can study. So not that you're restricted not to speak those words in the house. Nothing like that. Krishna is very kind. You should take shelter of Krishna. But how we present it, that's what is most important. Okay, 1870. So that we understand. So if you cannot preach, what you do? Adhyan. We'll just go a little forward here. And if you cannot do Adhyan, what you should do? Listen. Listen with Shraddha. That's what Krishna says. So last verse by Krishna. Krishna asking Arjuna, I have explained the whole knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to you. Do you really heard it with attention and concentration? Tvai ekagrena chetasa. So have you heard this? Ekagra chitta is very, very important. That's why sometimes we say switch on your video. Otherwise your chitta may not be ekagra. Charu Mataji was mentioning 241. Bahushaka hi anantasha. Buddhyo vyavasayina. Bahushaka, we get multi-branch, isn't it? As soon as we switch off, we start looking here and there, or someone else, calls us this and that. So ekagra chitta is very, very important. And Krishna is asking a very important question. Agyan samoha prasaste dhananjaya. Your agyan and samoha, your illusion and ignorance, is it gone or not gone? Valid question, right? Because Arjun was in agyan, Arjun was in moha. So the whole Bhagavad Gita was trying to resolve that issue of Arjuna. So at the end, teacher is asking, is the actual issue is resolved? And this is what we have to also concentrate. These questions are again not for Arjuna, it's for us. When we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we are passing our Bhakti Shastri and we are having, 90% of the marks. Is our Agyan and Moha is gone or not gone? This is all we have to ask ourselves. As Radhanath Maharaj said in one of the Bhakti Shastri graduation ceremony, Maharaj was pretty straightforward and he said, sorry to say, but this certificate of Bhakti Shastri will not save you from Yamaraj. If Yamaraj has to come, he will come. But your bhakti will save you from Yamaraj. This is a step towards that goal. This is not the goal at all. This is a step towards the goal of getting some love of Krishna. So Agyan Sama, is it gone? So this is the question which Krishna has asked to Arjuna. And this is the last verse spoken in Bhagavad Gita. Now we are starting 1873. Who will do this verse? Who hasn't done it? I prefer that. Mohit's iPhone. Hare Krishna, Mohit Prabhuji. If you are there.
Give me a second, please. Let me bring up one more second.
Yeah.
Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Nasto Moha Smritilabdha.
Nasto Moha Smritilabdha.
Tvatprasadamaya
Tvatprasadatmaya
Titosmi gata sandeha
Sotya Isito Asmi Gata Sandeha
Karishya vachanam tava.
Karishe Vachanam Tava.
Vachanam tava. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I'm prepared to act according to your instruction. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Arjuna Uvacha, so Arjuna is responding to the question of Krishna, where he asked Arjuna very clearly, your Agyan and Moha, ignorance and illusion is gone. What's the difference between ignorance and illusion? We discussed about it last week.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mata.
I believe ignorance is like you don't know whether it is right or wrong. Like an illusion, you know, but you still
You know it wrong. You know it
you
wrong.
know it's wrong. Yeah.
You think I know, but that knowledge is a wrong knowledge. But in ignorance, you just don't know where to drive, left or right. You don't know. But suppose you're driving on the right-hand side and you think you're driving on the left-hand side. That's called illusion. So many times we are in ignorance and many times we are in illusion. Mostly actually we are in illusion. So Arjuna is responding, Nashto Mohaha. So if you read 1872, what was the question of Pranas? Pranas, the same is destruction. Is your Agyan and Moha is destroyed? Arjuna responding in the same language. Nashta. Yes, it is Nashta. It is being destroyed. It's been dispelled. What is destroyed? Mohaha. Some Moha. See the relation between question and answer is so rhythmic. Nashto Moha, my illusion is Nashta, is gone, is destroyed. Smritir Labdha, and my Smriti, I have regained my Smriti. What sort of Smriti is saying? Did he go in amnesia or something? He forgot, oh, who I am, where is my wife, where is my son? What does Smriti Labdha mean? He forgot what was his supreme duty as a soul, what he was relating with the bodily level. He forgot his supreme connection with Krishna. Jivar Sarup hoy Krishna Nityadas. He forgot that. And because he forgot that, he was doing all the nice arguments, so-called nice arguments, right? Do we do this one? We all do this. We forget. We ultimately, we are a devotee of Krishna before anything else. We say, oh, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm male, female, I'm employee of this company, it's my duty, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But who are we first? Who are we first? Mame Vansho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The first we are is Ansha of Krishna. And after that, we have all this covering. My name is X, Y, and Z. I am a GBC, I'm a temple president, I'm a sannyasi, I am a this, that. They're all next to it. And that's why I said Varnashram in a very strict sense has got nothing to do with spirituality. It helps in spirituality, but it's not spiritual. Varnashram in itself is not spiritual. You make it spiritual. And that's called Daivi Varnashram, as Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said. So whatever coverings of the body, our family, our nation we have, that's a secondary. So Arjuna is saying, Smriti Labdha. Yes, actually I have regained my memory that I am first a devotee. How did I regain my memory? Tvat prasadan. I've regained your memory because of your mercy. Where else in Bhagavad Gita this prasada word is used? In the same chapter. Krishna has used this word in 1862 and in 1858. Mat prasadat me achita. So he's saying, Sarva Durgani Tarishyasi. In that verse, 1858, he says, with my prasad, you will cross over all the Durgas, all the obstacles. So Tvat prasadat. And then Arjuna uses a beautiful word, Maya Achyuta. So I have received your prasada, hey Achyuta. Achyuta means one who does not fail. If you remember in 121, if I'm not, 124 actually, Krishna says, Arjuna says, Senior Ubhyor Madhe Ratham Isthape Me Achyuta. He used the same word. Achyuta Ratham Isthape. Senior Ubhyor Madhe. In both the armies, in the middle of both the armies, please take my Ratha. I use the word Achyuta. You are infallible. And now again, he's using the same word what he used in the very earlier part of Bhagavad Gita 1.24. Achyuta, because you are Achyut. Why he is using the same word here? Because you are Achyut in every aspect. There I told Achyuta, because you are able to take my Ratha in the middle of the armies. Now I'm using Achyuta because I was lost and then you gave such a knowledge, and you are infallible in giving knowledge. Many times teacher explains many things, students don't understand. I'm sure it happens in this class. I'm not able to explain you nice enough because of my contamination, and you may not understand, right? But Krishna is not a teacher like that. When Krishna teaches, the result is in front, right? He's saying Nashto Moha Smritir Labdha. So is Achyut word right to use here? I think it's the best word because he is infallible in every aspect. Even in teaching, he is infallible. When he teaches, that's it. It's finished. When Krishna speaks, it's done. It's over. He is the best teacher. No one can ever come close to Krishna. And now, two more things happens. Isthitosmi gata sandeha. So if you remember in the first chapter, Arjun said, I cannot even stand with my Gandiv. Gandivam saste hastat. From my hasta, from my hand, Gandiv is slipping. I'm not able to stand. I'm shivering. Arjun was crying. So he was not in his original firm position. But now he's saying, Isthitosmi. Asmi, me, मैं, Isthito. I am being situated firmly now. Gata sandeha. All my sandeha, all the doubts are gone. No more, he's my grandfather, he's my this and that. I know my duties very nicely now. And then final, the most important word, Karishye Vachanam Tava. Karishye Vachanam Tava. I will do whatever you instruct me to do. And this is again not out of surrender, I surrender, do. No. It is out of love, because Krishna loves so much to a devotee. Devotee also loves Krishna so much. Karishye Vachanam Tava. I heard an example, very beautiful. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives this example, very nice. When Jesus was imprisoned in his final day of his life, and he was behind the bar, he was thinking about, now I will be given poison. Like Socrates was also given poison, and that's how he had to leave his body. So I'll be given poison. So initially he thought, no, let the cup pass. Let the cup pass, cup of poison pass. Let the cup of poison not come to me and I do not die. That's his desire, right? But then he thought, oh, actually, I'm not making a very nice wish here. So he said, not my will, but thy will should happen. Not my will. My will is not to receive the cup of poison, but your will, if your will is, I receive the cup of poison, that's fine. That's fine. So he was, again, very, very high quality devotee, saying, God, your will should happen. Many times we actually come in the first category. When a vipada come, we try to run away. Let the cup pass. Let this vipada not come in my life. We don't like those vipadas. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was telling in a class, if suppose vipada comes with 4 options, A, very severe vipada, B, less severe vipada, C, severe vipada, D is the lowest severe vipada. And Maya comes and says, Mataji, Prabhuji, which option would you like to choose? And I will give you that option. Which one we will choose? Some devotee said E, none of the above. No vipada. Radhanath Maharaj said, anyway, he didn't say that. He said, you will probably choose the D, right? Because D is the least vipada option. But he smiled and he said, unfortunately, things don't work in that fashion. Maya comes without any invitation, without any knocking on your door with A. And you will be just bewildered. Arey, ye kya ho gaya? What has happened in my life? Everything was going nice till yesterday, and now it's all upside down in my life. Everywhere you see failures. This is how Maya was. Maya does not give you options because you have that mentality of choosing the D or E. So, so when Jesus is saying, not my will, your will, it's a very high statement, actually, very high statement. But in this statement of Arjuna, it's even a higher quality of surrender. What he is saying, not only I will do, definitely not my will, definitely not, okay, your will also, but I will assist you to make your will happen. Like, if they are not giving me poison, if Krishna wants me to drink poison, what I will do? I will go in the market, get the poison, and get them to give that to me so that I can drink and die. Why? Because Krishna likes it. So not only I'm not trying to escape from the problem, not trying to accept the problem, but I'm inviting the problem to come to me just because my dear most Krishna want me to go through. And a live example from Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was in his 70s when he found the Krishna deity. And then he was a Babaji, he doesn't have anything, and he lives on Ayachak Prati, he never asks anything. Anyway, I'll not go to the whole story. Gopal comes and gives him milk, and he drinks the milk and all that. But then when he finds the deity, what he has to do? He has to establish a temple for the deity. He has to establish Pujari, Bhoga, cows, the whole thing he has to do. Anyway, by the time he is sort of done with this, he gets a dream from the same Krishna boy, and he says, I'm very hot. Can you give me some chandan? And okay, where do you get the? And he also tells, go to Jagannath Puri in the Malay and then get me the chandan. Now he's in Vrindavan, he's 70 plus, he has to walk all the way to Jagannath Puri, get the chandan. In those days, the travel was not easy. They has to not only walk, there were so many dacoits, so many kings, so many tax collectors, soldiers. They could even kill this person. Madhavendra Puri does not say a word. He said, no problem. If Gopal wants the chandan, I will get the chandan. And he went all the way to Jagannath Puri, and while coming back in Remuna, when he stayed, Gopal again came in the dream. You know what? You can just give my chandan to this Kirchar Gopinath, and I will accept. So Madhavendra Puri, if you see, he could have resisted, protested. He said, Krishna, it's too much trouble. Vasudevji never protested. Vishnu is coming and telling me my 3 past births. And now Vishnu is telling me, can you please take me to the Gokul? Arey yaar, are you kidding? You can't cross Jamuna just 15 kilometers and go yourself. Why are you troubling me? You should be actually taking me out of the prison house. Vasudev Devaki doesn't say a word. He said, you want to go to Gokul? We will take you to the Gokul. How we will take, I also don't know. Follow the instruction. So difficult for us, so difficult for us. But here Arjun is showing the highest level of surrender. Karishe vachanam tava. I will do whatever you like, even if it is so much hurtful to me, so much uncomfortable to me. So when we follow with this surrender to Krishna, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj said, then we can understand the subtle points of Bhagavatam. We can learn so many verses of Bhagavatam, but we may still not understand Bhagavatam. But when we follow the instruction of Guru and Krishna, then we can learn the subtleties of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So this is the surrender which Arjun had. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, we are zooming the camera back. So far, Krishna and Arjun were discussing. Now the conversation is coming back to Sanjay and Dhritarashtra. So 1872 is the last verse spoken by Krishna, 73, last verse spoken by Arjuna. Now, last few verses are spoken by Sanjaya. Let's see. Priya Mataji? Priya Mata, you want to do?
Yeah, sure. Sanjaya Vacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Iti aham vasudevasya.
Iti aham vasudevasya.
Parthasya cha mahatmana.
Parthasya cha mahatmanaha.
Samvadam imam ashrusam.
Samvadam imam ashrashram.
Adbhutam romaharshanam.
Adbhutam romaharshanam.
Translation. Sanjaya said, thus have I heard the conversation of 2 great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end.
Thank you, Mataji. So, iti aham vasudevasya. So, he is saying Vasudev ka. So, asya refers to the Shashti Vibhakti. Parthasya and Partha. So, cha mahatmana. So, mahatmana word is used here for Vasudev and Partha. Anywhere else in Bhagavad Gita where Mahatma word is used? Anyone? Quickly.
Mahatma Sudurlabha.
Mahatma Sudurlabha. Verse number, Prabhuji?
719.
719. And Jadharma Prabhu, second Mahatma word in Bhagavad Gita?
Mahatmanastu mam partha.
Verse number 913. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakriti mashita. Or Mohit Prabhu, what's the starting of the verse? Bhavanam Janamante Gyanavan Mamante Vasteva Sarumati Samhatma Sudurlabha. Thank you, Prabhus. Now you are reading Bhagavad Gita. That's nice. So 913 and 719, the 2 verses, very popular. And the third time Mahatma word is used in Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you remember in previous places, it was used for other purposes, for the devotee, like Devim Prakriti Mashita. It's Mahatma word is used for devotee. But here Mahatma word is used for Vasudev as well and Partha as well, both. So Mahatma word is used for both. So both Mahatma are having a conversation. Vasudevasya Parthasya Mahatmana. Samvadam imam. Imam samvadam. What I have just heard. Ashosham. I have just heard the samvadam which has happened between 2 Mahatmas, Arjun and Vasudev. Adbhutam. It was so wonderful. So wonderful conversation I've just heard. Romaharshanam. In I think English they call it goosebump. Here standing on the end, we read in Shastrakam by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rom Harshanam. So Rom Harshanam, goosebump happened in 2 situations. What are the two situations when Rom Hashram happens? One, when you are in fearful situation. When you are too fearful, it happens. Or you are in too much ecstasy. Huh? So here, what's the reason? Definitely number two. Huh? He is in ecstasy now. Wow, I've heard such a wonderful conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. 1875. This is a beautiful verse. Who hasn't done as yet? I see Sundar Gopal Prabhu, if you want to do.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Vyasa Padacha Sutavana
Vyasa Prasadaj Shrutavana
Etad Guhyam Aham Param
Etad Guhyam Aham Param
Yogam Yogeshwarat Krishnat
Yogam Yogeshwarat Krishnat
Sakshat Kathayata Swayam.
Sakshat Katayatah Swayam.
Translation: By the mercy of Vyasa, I've heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Vyasa Prasadat Shrutavan. So the first line is very, very important, especially for all of us. So I have Shrutavan, I was able to hear. Due to which mercy? Vyasa's mercy. So as we know, before Mahabharata war, Vyasadev came and he gave good counsel to Duryodhana. Duryodhana wasn't listening. Vyasadev understood now it's going to happen. So while he was leaving, he said to Dhritarashtra, would you like to see the war? So Dhritarashtra said, I haven't seen the life of my boys, so there's no point of seeing their death, because somewhere in the corner of his heart, he knew my boys are going to die because they are irreligious people. So he said, not me, but you can give the vision to Sanjaya. Now, where does Sanjaya come to picture? The Vidura, when he left the palace, Sanjaya came into the picture. Although he was younger to Dhritarashtra, but he was a very moral, religious person, and he used to give some advice, console to Dhritarashtra. He was also the chariot driver of Dhritarashtra. So he was very, very close in that sense. So Dhritarashtra said, you can give your eyes these vision to Sanjaya. And if I want, I will hear from him. And initially, as we have discussed, he did not hear from Sanjaya for first 10 days of the war. He started from the 10th day after Bhishma fell down. So Vyas Prasadat Shrutavan Etad Guhyam Aham Param. So I've just hearing this Guhya, very secret knowledge, by the mercy of Vyasadeva. Now here Shrutavan not only refers to Sunna, hearing, it also refers to understanding. Now, you see, many times we hear Bhagavad Gita, we hardly understand anything. Dhritarashtra was also hearing Bhagavad Gita, but could he understand Bhagavad Gita? No. Because Dhritarashtra, it says, was inquisitive, but he was not submissive. So to be able to understand Bhagavad Gita, not only we have to be inquisitive, like how many verses I know and which verse is that, that's all right. That's just the outer layer. But what we have to be submissively hear Bhagavad Gita. Now, here we see, is Arjun was submissive or no? Which verse in Bhagavad Gita says Arjun was submissive? 2.7 Karpanye
2.7.
dosho apahad swabhava. Thank you, my Prabhu. Which verse says 3 qualifications of the hearer in Bhagavad Gita? I'm asking, not Bhagavatam. Which verse says the qualification of the hearer so that you can understand the message?
434. Guru.
434. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya. 3 qualification has to be there. Tad vidhi pranipatena. Pranipaten means you bow down humbly. Pariprashna, you inquire, definitely inquire, but pranipatena. And then what you do? Seva. Seva is very, very, many times in India, you see, many people are inquisitive. They have a lot of knowledge and, acha, what are you doing this and that? They have no seva bhav, no seva, no humility. They are very proud of their knowledge. So they're not able to do tattva darshanaha. But here we see Shrutavan not only refers to external hearing, but understanding the message. And that's why we see the result in the future verses. So etad guhyam aham param yogam yogeshwarat Krishna. So what he's saying, Krishna is the Yogeshwara. He is not just a mystique person. He's the Yogeshwara, the supreme controller of the mystics. And sakshat katayata swayam. He spoke that knowledge swayam. Which other verse, a famous verse, uses the word swayam? Everyone knows this. Very famous verse. Tell me the number first.
हम स्वयं पापेभ्यो मोक्षाय मा शुचः.
स्वयं नहीं है प्रभु उसमें.
Sorry.
Swayam.
Swayam.
Which famous verse uses swayam? Krishnastu
To Swayam
Bhagavan
Bhayan.
Swayam 1328. That's why I did not say Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavatam, yeah.
or
Eta
in
Chamsa Kalapam, sir.
Eta Chamsa.
1328, yeah. In Bhagavad Gita, 10:13, Arjun says to Krishna, Param 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 Dham, the last, Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. The use Swayam word is also used there. Anyway, coming back here, so Sakshat Kataya Swayam, so Krishna himself spoke this wonderful knowledge. Nowhere else you will find so beautiful, concise statements of Lord to a devotee in one hit. In one hit, nowhere else you will find. This is the only place, and Sanjaya here is being very, very grateful to be able to hear that message personally. Okay, 76. Rupam Prabhuji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you not highlight that?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Rajan samsmritya
Rajan samsmritya
samvadam imam abhutam adbhutam Keshav Arjunayo Punya
Keshava Arjunayoh Punyam
Rishyami cha Muhurmuhu.
Irshami cha Muhurmuhu.
Translation. O King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Rajan refers to whom here? Dhritarashtra. So Sanjay is speaking with Dhritarashtra. Hey Rajan, samsmritya. While remembering, so he has just heard the whole conversation. You just hear a Bhagavatam class from a Maharaj or some advanced devotee, and you come out, you feel so good. You remember all those points in your mind. So he is also sort of remembering samsmritya. Again and again, he's remembering those samvadam imam adbhutam. Similar words he's using. Adbhut samvad, wonderful samvad I've just heard. And when I'm remembering the samvad of Keshav and Arjun, which is Krishna and Arjuna, punyam, it's very punya, it's very pious samvad. It was not just a casual conversation between two friends in a club or a beer bar or something. No, it's a very punya conversation. And when I remember that, I become so joyful. And we all experience that when we hear a nice kirtan. I'm remembering Manmohan Prabhu's house, a kirtan he organized. I forgot his name. What was Vijay Prabhu? Yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, Vijay Prabhu. When we were sitting there, we were just enjoying that like anything. Really felt like in some other world. So we have those experiences somewhere. So the Gopal Prabhu, I think you are also there. And people witness that wonderful sort of kirtan or katha. Many times we hear katha or kirtan or any devotion service we perform. We get this hirsha, joy in our heart. So Sanjay is experiencing the same thing, and he's still you can say in the clouds, he's just feeling that inside. 77, who hasn't done as yet? Okay, also Shraddha Mata, if you want to do last two verses of Bhagavad Gita.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Tacha samsmritya Rupam ati adbhutam harehe Vismayo me mahan rajan Rishyami cha punah punaha. Translation. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I'm struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. I'm just opening 76 and 77. You can say samsmritya, adbhutam. So similarity is used. Why similarity is used? He's just in so much ecstasy. He's saying the same thing again and again. So again, tacha samsmritya, again by rupam ati adbhutam hare. I've seen a adbhut rupa, wonderful rupa of Hari. What is he referring to in the second line? Anyone can recall? Virat Rupa. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, universal form. So, because he has never seen it earlier, actually, no one had ever seen that form earlier. Vismayo me Mahan Rajan. You can say it's a very close to Hindi, right? The Sanskrit is very, very close. You can even translate. Vismayo means I am struck with wonder. Mahan wonder, not chota mota, not a small wonder, big wonder by remembering that form of Hari. Hishramicha puna puna. Again and again, I'm being an ecstatic heart. Now 1878, one of the very, very, very important last verse
All
of
right,
Bhagavad
Prabhu.
Gita. Hari bol, Mohit Prabhu ki jai.
Last verse.
Okay.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha.
Tatra Sri Vijayo Putir.
Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir.
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, teacher. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's very, very beautiful verse, a very big verse. Before we come inside the verse, let's set up the context. Who will remember the first verse of Bhagavad Gita? Many of you would remember. Anyone can say.
Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra.
Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra.
Can you start the verse from the starting?
Dhritarashtra
Dhritarashtra. That's the main thing. Dhritarashtra Vacha. There's only one verse Dhritarashtra speaks in Bhagavad Gita. That's 1.1. Huh? So, what does that verse Dhritarashtra was saying? Dharmashetra Kurukshetra Samveta Yusva Mamakaha Pandava Shaiva Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. So, basically, his question, external question is Kim Akur. What did they do when they assembled on the battlefield? Both the armies. What did they do? When you're sitting on the dining table, all the prasadam in front of you, what do? Mahaprasade Govinde. What else? You're there to fight with all the gada and bows and whatnot. What else you will do? Fight, right? So what was his implicit question? Anyone can say? That's the external question. What did they do? What's the implicit question? Who will win? Isn't it?
How much?
Who will win? That's the question. Basically, that's the question. Kaun mara? And which other party? So Kaun mara means he wanted to hear that Pandavas died and my son won. That's what the question was basically, right? And he had intellectually he knew that my sons are going to die, but externally with your heart, with your emotion, you still wanted your son to be surviving and become the king, right? That's what he wanted. That's what his heart situation is. Now 1.1 is answered of all the 698 verses in the 700th verse of Bhagavad Gita by Sanjay, whom he was asking the question to. Sanjaya, right? So Sanjay has to respond. So Sanjay is responding 1.1 into 1878. Let's see what is his response. Yatra mane wherever, Yogeshwara Krishna. So Krishna is not just a yogi, he is a Yogeshwara. He has referred to Yogeshwara in 76 as well. Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, wherever the supreme mystic Krishna is there and the supreme archer Arjuna is there. Tatra, that place, four things will happen. What will happen? Shri. Shri means opulence. Sometimes Shri is translated as money. Money is just one aspect of the opulence. So Shri means a whole holistic goodness, good well-being. So Shri will be there. Vijay will be there. So this is the word which Sanjay is responding to Dhritarashtra. You think Vijay will be in your favor, victory will be in your favor. Actually, it will be in Pandava's favor, because Pandava and Krishna are on the other side. So Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti. Bhuti means, Prabhupada writes, exceptional power. Now Bhuti word comes from Vibhuti. If you remember Vibhuti Yoga, 11th chapter, right? Exceptional things, whatever exceptions are there, which attracts us. So Bhuti means exceptional power, not a small power. Exceptional power will be there. Dhruva. Dhruva means definitely. We have Dhruv Maharaj, very determined. And what else will be there? Niti will be there. The supreme morality will be there. So not just the morality, the supreme. So it's not like Pandava is going to cheat Duryodhana and the party and win the war. No, not like that. They will have supreme morality. Dhruva Niti. But that is my opinion. So his opinion obviously is to be taken as a conclusion. So basically he's saying, if Pandav, here Arjuna and Krishna is on that side, that's where will be Shri, means opulence, victory, exceptional power, and supreme morality. That is my opinion. So this is where Krishna finishes this Bhagavad Gita. If there's any more questions, we can take quickly. And we jump to our revision.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you just clarify a bit in what context or what sort of could you elaborate a bit more when his Sanjay is saying that the master is the master of mystics?
Okay. When Krishna came to Dhritarashtra just before the war as a peace messenger, if you remember, after the incident, I'm not going to the incident, after the incident, Duryodhana was very frustrated because he wanted to arrest Krishna. He could not arrest Krishna. Anyway, he was fully frustrated. He goes to his room with Shakuni and Karna and all that. I think the Dhritarashtra also there. And he says a statement, a very childish statement. He said, Krishna has shown the Virat Rupa. I'm talking post Virat Rupa. So he says to Shakuni and Karna with a lot of anger, what is this magic? I can also show this magic. I can also show a Virat Rupa. So even after seeing the Virat Rupa, people still don't get it. Don't get it. Many times they consider God as nothing and nothing as God. God as nothing means when the real God, say Krishna or Lord Ram, when they come or their pastimes come, they reject them and they consider a Baba in South India or in North India somewhere. Oh, he is God. He is God. Huh? So no matter how much opulence many times Krishna shows, but people just don't believe it because their mati is not there. So here Sanjay is saying he is just not a yogi. Yogi means a mystical person who has some mystic siddhis. We know the 8 mystic siddhis. He's saying he is Yogeshwaraha. He is the supreme mystic. So he controls all the mystics. So yeah, that's what it refers to. So if you think Dhritarashtra is talking to Dhritarashtra, if you think Krishna is just a yogi, he has some mystic power, he can display a Virat Rupa, actually, you are wrong. He is actually Yogeshwaraha. Ishwara Parama Krishna. He is not just a Ishwara, he is Ishwara Parama Krishna. So that's what it means, Mataji, with this statement. He controls all the yogic siddhis.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now what I was thinking, because we have just done chapter 18 and we have done revision as well, let's do a quick revision of 18th itself. Is that okay? So instead of going in an orderly fashion, we'll go backward and we'll see how far we go. It works for you. I just wanted to cover a few verses. Okay, side, no translation. Okay, can everyone see this? Okay, we all can see this 18th chapter. Okay, now before we again go to the revision part, let's do a quick context of the 18th chapter. Now, practically speaking, Krishna has spoken everything till chapter 17. But 18th chapter, as a good teacher, he is summarizing all the things which he has already given in Bhagavad Gita, again in a summary way. And that's where we see, I'll open this MIHE guide, which you all have. Okay, what's the name of 18th chapter? Let's start from there. Conclusion, this is called Sannyasa Yoga. So Sannyasa Yoga, Prabhupada translates that as the perfection of renunciation. It's just not the renunciation, it's the perfection of renunciation. So how does he achieve the objective of this chapter? So you see, there are 3 portions here, which is Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga itself. Now there are a couple of sections here. So first he describes the Karma Yoga section. Okay, there's a question by Arjuna, and then Krishna starts responding. Then he does a summary of Jnana Yoga. He also does the modes of material nature. There he analyzes Jnana, Karta, Karma, Dhriti, Buddhi, and Sukha. So 6 elements he summarizes in this 20 verses. And then he describes the Varnashram Dharma. If you remember, Brahman's duties, Kshatriya duty, Vaishya's duty, and how we can offer that work to Krishna in this section, worshipping Krishna through one's work. And then he explains from Jnana Yoga to pure devotion service, how you achieve that. And then final was surrender to Krishna, which is the pinnacle summit of Bhagavad Gita. And then he says, what is the effect of all this on Arjuna? So let's look at this chapter 18, quickly some verses. I'll just pick up some really famous verses. It may not be in Rupam Prabhu's list, but they are really famous and important. 18.5 is there, Prabhu? Rupam Prabhu? No, okay. Yagyadan tapa karma na tyajam karyam evatad yagyo danan tapashaiva pavnani manishram. So here we learned that yagyadan and tapa kriyas Yajna means sacrifices, and dana means charity, and tapa means austerity. That activity should not be given up. And they even Pavanani, they purify even Manishanam. If you remember in 18.3, he had a very respectable opinion about Manishana, which Manishanas were saying, Tyajam doshvad iti eka karma prahud Manishana. Manishana saying Tyajam doshvad, the karma is doshvad, you do tyaga of the karma. But he is saying, actually, you know what? Yagyadan tapa karma should never be given up. And they can purify even Manishana. So he's very being respectful and also giving conclusion. One statement again, I was reading Chaitanya Charan Prabhu a few days ago in a class, and he said very nicely, Bhagavad Gita is very inclusive, but it's not inconclusive. Inclusive means it includes everyone. Garba Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Bhakti includes everyone. Dhyan Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, it includes everyone. But it is not inconclusive. But it's not like, okay, whatever you want, you can do that. No, it's very conclusive. Very, very conclusive. So Krishna is giving a conclusion in this verse. You should not do it, even if you're a Manishna, you're a great scholar. And then he described in one of these verses 5 factors of the karma. Yes, Panchetani Mahabhav. So in 14th, it describes the 5 factors. Adhisthanam tatha karta karanam cha pratakritam vivdhasya pratak chesta devam chaivatr panchamam. So what are the 5 factors of a success of a karma? Adhisthan, karta, karan, chesta, and devam. So adhisthan is the sthan where you're doing the work. Karta is the person who is doing. Karanam is the instrument, whether your body is an instrument or you're using some other instrument to make a sabji or something. Chesta, you have to put in effort, nice effort, and daivam. Daiva has to be with you as well. Then the karma will be successful. And then when we say, I am the doer, what's the verse in Bhagavad Gita which sort of goes against this? I am the doer. Which verse? Everyone knows that one. Very famous verse.
327.
327. Praktekriya marani godhi karmani sarvasha ahankar vimanata karta aham. So Krishna is saying, you are there. I'm not denying your presence there, but it's only 20%. There are 80% other factors as well. So if you are saying karta aham, you are a mudha, as per Krishna. And then Krishna starts explaining jnana, karma, and karta. So he explains in 3 modes. Jnana, what are the knowledge in passion, knowledge in goodness, and knowledge in ignorance. He talks about karta, the doer in mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. He explains all that. I'll not go through all these verses. We have already done it. And then he explains buddhi, dhriti, and sukha. 3 aspects as well. Intelligence, determination, and happiness. Many times we become happy when we see others in a painful situation. So we become happy. I remember many incidents. Anyway, so our happiness, if it is based on others' pain, exploitation, distress, that sort of happiness is in mode of ignorance, actually. Many people in the world do that. Okay, in the Sukha 37, I'm not sure about in your list, but it should be in our personal list. Yattat agre visham eva parinamo amratopamam. So what is the Sukha in mode of goodness? In the initial stages, it may seem like a visha, and we gave the example of Mangalarti. It seems like a visha, but parinamo amratopamam. So in the end, it becomes like a nectar. And if you go other way, in the mode of passion, the sukha, agre amratopamam, pariname vishamiva. Exactly opposite. Initially, it looks so sweet. Drugs, alcohol, meat, and all that looks very, very sweet. Or even our ego, when we display our intelligence, beauty, whatever aspect of our body, we say, okay, we are so great. Actually, it's in passion. It's in passion. Chaitanya Prabhu said very nice thing. First thing, we are not great, even if we are great. Suppose even if we have some quality, our greatness doesn't last long. Only for a few days, few years, we may be very popular. People may follow us. After that, people will forget. People will forget. Okay, now 41, beautiful verse, duties of Brahman. How many duties are there? Anyone quickly? Quick. 9. 9 things are there. Sorry, 42. So 41 is the beginning, the introduction of the section. 42 is there. Shamo damastapa socham shantir ajam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavjam. One word which devotees expect in this verse is not there. What is that word which devotees expect? but it's not there. Because that's not an integral duty of a Brahmana.
Vaishnava.
Humility.
Devotion to
Bhakti.
Krishna. Bhakti. The word here used instead is astikyam. So astikyam is good enough. Astikyam is believe in Vedic culture, Vedic book. That's enough. Huh? What's the example of it? Anyone can give? Who was an astik is still a Brahmana. We gave this example from Bhagavatam. Shukracharya. Shukracharya. When you are telling Bali Maharaj, don't give it to Vishnu, is he being acting as a devotee? Definitely not. He's saying, don't give it to Vishnu. What's the devotion there? But Krishna never chastised him. Oh, you are not a Brahman because you're not a devotee. Huh? So Brahman can also be on different levels. And that's why we say Vaishnava is the highest. Vaishnava is definitely a Brahman, but Brahman may not be definitely a Shudra. A Vaishnava. Brahman may not be a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is definitely a Brahman because he has higher qualities. Huh? So there's a superset.
Will Ravan also fall in that category? He was son of
He was
a Brahman.
Yeah. That's why many times you see this state, Brahman was a Brahman. He was a Brahman. And many times, many things are given for Raman. So he was. Okay. And then Kshatriya and Vaishyas are there. Now this is very nice verse 45. Sve sve karmani avirata sansiddhim labde nara swakarm nirta siddhim yatha vindati tat shunu. Sve sve karmani. So you can be situated in your own varnashrama situation. You don't have to leave or adopt another dharmas to be able to perform devotional service. Sve sve karmani avirata. Avirata means be supremely engaged in your sweswe karma, in your own prescribed duties, and you will achieve siddhim. You will achieve the perfection. Huh? Because it's made by Krishna. And 47, which verse of Bhagavad Gita comes closest to 1847? Quickly. If the time is up, then you all know. Quick one. Which verse is there in Bhagavad Gita? Shriyansa dharma vigrana par dharma sunishtas. 335. Third chapter, 35th verse. Same line is used there as well. First line is same. Huh? So basically, same thing Krishna is saying, don't jump to another side. Because grass on the other side always looks greener. But grass is not greener where it looks green. Grass is greener where you water the grass. Where you water the grass. Huh? So water the grass means, what is the water here? Shravanam. Shravanam and Kirtanam is the watering our Bhakti Lata Beach. 48 is also beautiful. Vasajam karam konte sadosham pinnateche sarvaram mahidoshan. Okay, then the Jnana Yoga section is starting. You can see Asakta Buddhi Sarvatra Jitatma Vikatisra. So Jnana Yoga section starts here and it's telling about different qualities. And then again, the qualities are described here. Buddhya, Vishuddhya, Dittatmina, Niyamicha, Vivikta Sevi Lagvashi. We discussed all this. So again, Jnana Yoga section is there. And then it sort of ends up, culminates in, not ends up, culminates in this 54th verse. Beautiful verse. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labte Brahm. Also a big refute to Mayavad, where he's saying once you reach to Brahma Bhuta stage, then mad bhaktim labte param. Not the other way which Mayavadis say. He said first do bhakti, then you will receive Brahman platform. But it's not. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita come closest to this verse, establishing the similar fact? Quick. 14:26, Brahmano hi pratisthaham. I am the foundation of Brahman. Krishna says that Brahman comes from me, not I come from Brahman. Aham sarvasya prabho. 10.8. Again, same thing, re-establishing the same fact. Brahma bhuta prasannatma. Bhakti is not after. Bhakti is not pre-Brahman, it's post-Brahman. Huh? So what Prabhupada taught all of us, not that we are great from that perspective, but following the process of given by our acharyas, we are actually following the highest process. And that's why the result will be highest as per this verse. Huh?
It's a verse to remember.
Hari bol, thank you. The list should be expanded actually. Just too small. Anyway, 55, another important verse. Is there or not? Again, add it in your personal list. Bhakti Amma Abhijanati. Prabhupada quoted this. Is there? Thank you. Prabhupada quoted this verse again and again. Now there's a Mayavadi word here. Seems apparently Mayavadi word here. Which word is that? Quickly, look at the verse.
Vishyate.
Vishyate. What does Vishyate mean?
Entering.
Entering. As soon as the word enter comes, Mayavadi becomes very happy. Anyway, we have discussed about it. this entrance is not into Krishna's and wiping up our existence, is entering into the tattva of Krishna. Which other chapter verse has a similar word used earlier in Bhagavad Gita? I'm trying to remember number. If I'm not wrong, it's 1154. Let's see. Praveshtum, 1154. Gyatum drashtenu cha tat. Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum. Praveshtum word is used, huh? And there it's Vishatam is used. So 1154 and 1855. Quite close actually, huh? And they both got heavily refuted by Vaishnava Acharyas, huh? Okay, I'll skip that. 58. I love this personally. This verse, Machita Sarva Durgani. If you have a lot of obstacles in your life, what you should do? Try to receive mercy of Krishna. How do you receive mercy of Krishna? It says through Vaishnav Seva. So if you serve Vaishnavas, no matter what sort of problems you're going through in your life, the problems will be resolved because this is a promise by Krishna. It's not just a theory. Machita Sarva Durgani. Sarv Durgani includes all your problems which you have had in the past, you have in the present, or you may think will come tomorrow. Huh? All sorts of problems will go away. You will cross over Tarishyasi by Mat Prasada. So try to achieve mercy of Krishna. And the best, fastest way is to achieve through Vaishnavas, because it says Krishna is in the pocket of Vaishnavas. Now in our pocket, what we have? iPhone 15 or whatever it is. Now in Vaishnava's pocket, it's Krishna. So you grab Vaishnava, grab the lotus dust of Vaishnava, and all the problems will be resolved in due course of time. How this will happen, that only Krishna knows, but the principle is very clear. Now Krishna is teaching to Arjuna, if due to ahankara shityam, if you take shelter of ahankara and not listen to my instruction, which I have been giving you, mithyashe, so you will not achieve success. And then he talks about the Swabhava. Swabhav jen konte nibadha swen karmana kartum nechasi yada yad mohat karishasi avasopitat. If you don't listen me due to your Swabhava, you will fight later. Huh? But that will be not very glorious. And then it says, is Swabhava the supreme? No, Swabhava is not the supreme. Above Swabhava is Ishvara. And there's a famous verse. Ishvara sarvbhutanam hriddeshe arjun tishrati brahmayani sarvbhutani yantrarani maya. So Ishwar who resides in everyone's heart. Which other verse in Bhagavad Gita comes closest to this 1861? Krishna talks a similar thing. Jai Dharma Prabhu.
Sarvasya chaham.
Hridisannivishto. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto. Number 1515.
1515.
Thank you, Mohit Prabhu.
Verse to
Mohit Prabhu
remember,
अच्छी से तैयारी कर रहे हैं हाँ.
नहीं वो verse to remember ऐसे.
That's good. That's good. We should remember. 1861 also there?
No Prabhu.
Oh, anyway, very beautiful verse. Please remember. Again, Prabhupada quoted this verse a lot of time. So please remember. And we discussed the word Brahman. Brahman, we as a jiva are doing Brahman. We are not traveling. We are wandering because many species, because sometime high, sometime low. Another point in this particular verse. So that shows evolution is not only progressive, it can be regressive as well. Like sometime Christians say, once you come to human body, that's it. You're going back to Godhead. They don't say Godhead, they go to heaven or something. It's not like that. You can go down as well. And then Krishna says, Tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapasi shatam. So if you do that, if you take shelter of Krishna, what will happen? And then this famous verse here, Yathechasi Tathakuru, 1863. So Krishna says, I've explained you all the knowledge. Now contemplate on it, digest it, and then see what you want to do. And then Krishna's heart overflows and says, okay, there's no time for contemplation. He says, Asheshena. So word Asheshena means you can contemplate as long as you like. But if you're confused, I'll tell you actually. Very, very final instructions. And then we discuss about 1864 today and 65 onwards. So we discussed already all of this. I'll not rediscuss it. So that's where we end 18th chapter. Any quick questions for this quick summary of the biggest chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Okay, everyone happy? Everyone understood everything? 18th chapter is on your fingertips now. It's a very beautiful chapter. So much Krishna has explained. I love this chapter. practically every aspect, Krishna is leading to one aspect only: surrender to Krishna, surrender to Krishna, and in a very beautiful way, not in an abrupt way, very beautiful way. And he's giving full time to Arjuna. He's saying, do whatever you want, you can recontemplate. He says, I can re-explain you to the whole Bhagavad Gita or some topics of Bhagavad Gita. He's like such a nice, loving teacher. Again, he's saying, you are very dear to me. I'm very determined to love you. No matter what you do, I will never quit you. So very beautiful chapter, and opening the heart of Krishna very nicely. Okay, let's stop here. It's 9:02. Now we have our last class before the exam, which will be only revision class, and we'll talk a little bit about exam. I think we discussed for 12th of February. Is that right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Monday.
Yes, so Monday, because Wednesday we have another beautiful class by Srila Prabhupada disciple, Her Grace Urmila Mataji. So she will be coming online and we'll publish the details of the class. That's on Wednesday. So because of her class, we are just preponing our regular class. So please come on 12th. And if you have any questions or comments, please bring it with you and we can discuss on that day. Other chapters are not so big, so we should be able to finish those 5 chapters. And I'll just take some very popular verses and then we'll just rediscuss on that. Okay. Sundar Gopal Prabhu, anything else we need to tell for the group?
No, Prabhu, that was the only thing. That the class will be on Monday and Wednesday will be
and 18 is the exam. So exams, just the date and time, 2 to 5, same pattern as we have done in the past. And we'll discuss about the content on Monday, 12th of February. Okay. So let's stop here. Srila Prabhu, sorry. Yes, Prabhu.
So next Wednesday, the class by Urmila Mataji, is in person. Is it at Sakhi Radhika Mataji's place, and the invitation from her has been forwarded to the group. So please, if you may wish to go there, please let her know. RSVP to her by Sunday.
Yeah. So it's a wonderful opportunity. If you are physically available, that's the best. Otherwise, online class, whatever works for individuals.
Prabhu, is the question paper set by Ghanshyam Prabhu?
Question paper set by Ghanshyam, yes, Prabhuji.
Same as last time.
Same as last time and the last time.
Last time.
So he's running the Bhakti Shastri. I'm just a little mouth here. No, he has very kindly set up. And the reason I think Rupam Prabhu is asking inside question is, if Hemanga Chaitanya Prabhu sets the question paper, it might be different, huh? No, Prabhuji, I'm following Ghanshyam Prabhu. And yeah, he has set the paper. Paper is already there. You just have to wait for 11 days and you'll have it. Yeah, it's same pattern. He's very kind. He's been very kind throughout the whole journey. So he's been very, very kind. So just do your assignment. Sorry, not do, means read it nicely. And I keep saying some important verses. Just go through them as well. And in general, you should know the theme of the chapter. You should be able to finish the exam very easily. That's all I can say. It's not a very tough exam. And last 2 times also, I would say, if you are honest, you will see the exam was not tough exam. It was not like confusing. Every question is confusing. I gave one Ishopnishad exam, you won't believe, probably 13, 14 years ago. Maybe Ujjwala Mataji remembers in a different venue. That was real confusing exam. And Prabhuji gave 5 options of each question and it was so confusing. B or C? C or D? Such a close options were given. I was fully bewildered. I'll be honest. Huh? So this question paper is very easy comparatively speaking. Yeah. But anyway, you prepare. We are not just passing a question paper here. We are preparing Bhagavad Gita to take a step further in our devotional life. Okay, let's stop here. It's 9:06. We'll see you all on Monday.